All right, welcome back everyone. So on today's video, I'm actually going to be going over my mobile pack out backpack that I have. I used to have a duffel bag that I carried everything in, and it was just a convoluted mess. Had to dig for stuff. Things got tangled up, and then just digging around, it made it to where I wasn't as efficient as I wanted to be. So I decided to get this Klein backpack, and this is the 28 pocket one. They do offer other ones that have more pockets, up to 40, but I decided to go with the 28 pocket one just because, again, this is going to be like my diagnostics and light repair backpack. So I didn't need anything that needed that many pockets, and I also didn't want to have like that psychological effect of like I have extra pockets, I gotta fill them in, I gotta put stuff in there because I still gotta carry this thing around. And even though I don't carry it very far, it's still not a lot of weight that I want to be lugging around consistently. So on the outside, we're gonna start here. I have my spray cans, and I'm just going to pull these out. But I have my CRC QD electric cleaner, and I have my liquid moly electric spray. This is a protectant. This is a cleaner. Two different purposes. And then on this side, I have my PV blaster, as well as my WD-40. So mini cans, because again, just diagnostics like repairs. Then I have this Pittsburgh 12 foot, 12 and a half foot mini tape. And it's got the little locking switch as well. And then on the hard shell backpack, I have my Klein multimeter, and I also have my test leads in there. So right there. But this is the Klein MM420, and it has an attachment right here, little magnetic strap. So you clip it to the back, and then if you need your hands, you can just stick it, and it'll hold it in place for you. That way you can look at your readings and not have to worry about like holding the meter in place or it falling out or sliding someplace. So then main zipper pouch right here. Got a test light, digital brake fluid tester, really accurate. I have my green notebook where I write all my notes and findings for electrical things. And then I have this little circuit tester right here. This one only goes up to 20 amps, but a little backlight on it. And that also has a little flashlight. It's not terrible, but and like I said, I'm gonna have the links in the description for all these things. Some of them were a little hard to track down because I had to pretty much search through all my receipts to figure out where I got it from and attach the links to it. So now we're gonna go into the main compartment here. Let's slide this back a little more. Actually, I gotta move this. There we go. All right, so I got this one from Harbor Freight. Little organizer. So got dielectric grease, little brush, an extra nozzle. I have a white marking crayon, all sorts of connectors, shrink tube. I got a fuse puller, ply or tweezers here for small fuses, a yellow tape, and a whole bunch of miscellaneous fuses here for different sizes. Some of these things shifted out, but this is good enough for me. Then I have here a 25-piece test kit, back probing, alligator clips, etc. Pretty comprehensive. And then I have this uh, seam reaper because they make automotive tools, but this is a wood one, prevents shorts. But if you got to cut into like wire looms or whatever, essentially this little red tip right here protects it, and this guides it away from the wires, and it cuts it through there. So you can just guide it up, cut whatever tape or loom you need to open without damaging your wires or creating another fault or open. So really handy. Get this here. Put this back in here. Close it back up. And I'll close that later. Anyways, here I have a set of flip sockets, and these are going to range all the way from 17 and 17 and a half all the way to, what is it right here, 22 and a half and 22. It's got a little push pin right here for when you pull out the swollen lug nuts, and then it's got an adapter. So like I said, I'll have the link in the description for all these things. Trying to do this with one hand's a little hard. set a bunch of cords. I've got little hose clamp pliers right here, and I have this is my second set of these pliers. These things are phenomenal. These are going to be the PZ59s, little vampire pliers too. So if you get a stripped out fastener or whatever, it's got those nice teeth and ridges on there you can grab it with. Set of pliers, basic set, pliers, channel logs, wire cutters, needle nose, nothing crazy. Then I have my hydraulic hood props right here. So if the hydraulics in the car for the hood or the latch are bad, I can utilize these to hold it up in place for me. Then I have the Klein 16-1, wire pliers right here. Little nice little locking mechanism. So, and I got these for like $15, I think, at Home Depot. And then I have another fuse block puller set of pliers right here. So I have the tweezers over there for the smaller fuse, and this is going to be for the blocks themselves. Wire brushes. I got brass, steel, and nylon, depending on the application that I need. Set of picks right here, 6 set. These are the Pittsburgh set. And then I got this tiny little, what is it? I think this is like 7 or 8 inches nylon hammer. It's actually a jewelry hammer, but sometimes you have intermittent issues around the computer, so you need to give it like a little light tap test. And you don't want to use a big hammer, something that's made out of metal or even brass. You might mar something, dent it. So nice little hammer right here, jeweler's hammer. Just give it a little tap. It's not going to damage anything. It won't break or dent any of the components, causing maybe more internal issues. So great little piece right there. Here I have my actual hood prop right here from PT, from Performance Tools. And this is, again, if I'm working on an older car that doesn't have a hood prop and it's not hydraulic, I can use this one. And this one, I think it's 18.5 inches up to 40 inches. So great piece of equipment that is going to help you and not have to be stuck out there, trying to hold the hood up with one hand and, trying to diagnose stuff. So here I have the Pittsburgh set of screwdrivers. It's the 8-piece, but I only kept 4. So, because I didn't need the whole set of them. Then I have my extra digital tire gauge that I had. This is the Merlin, from Harbor Freight. And then here I have the set of thin wrenches that I had before from my old set. I kept them here in case I need to do like a spark plug setup, where you have to have a set of thin wrenches to remove that second nut to keep from spinning. 2 little pry bars right here. And then in here I have a 10-inch 3/8 breaker bar. And I have the Wera locking extension as well as a Sonex swivel. I just put them together. And then I also have this one right here. I think this is from Titan, if I'm not mistaken. If I can get it out, yeah. So this is the Titan. It's a low profile one. It's the 1/4 inch on the 3/8 drive on the 1/4 inch body. So just in case I need something with a little more low profile. And I went with the swivel head rather than the flex head, just because pros and cons, this one's going to give me more versatility at the end of the day compared to a flex head. So that is, my personal opinion and choice. If you feel differently, then you can always just get yourself a flex head. But that's what I got there. Here I have a set of cheap but efficient Duratec flex head ratcheting wrenches. Goes all the way from 8mm to 17mm. So flex head ratcheting wrenches come in handy because multi-purpose, and I don't have to worry about like having to have a vast majority of different types of wrenches. This will get most of the things done that I need for when it comes to diagnostics and light repairs. So again, diagnostics, light repairs, this is not a bag that I utilize to do heavy repairs or anything like that. Then I also have my Klein headlamp right here, rechargeable, and it clips to the back of the backpack. And then Klein makes head straps, but they're like $20-$30. I went with this one right here. This is from, well, I'm not gonna say that name, but Ergodyne, I think, and it's universal. All the Klein headlamps that are clippable will work with this strap right here, and that will be in the description down there, and the description of the video. And then here I have a 6-foot endoscope that attaches to my phone if I need to look somewhere. So got that little set right there. And then if you missed the last video, This is my Frankenstein version of the Icon meme set, and its older brother, or big brother, I should say, not the quarter-inch automotive drive set. I'm talking just strictly Icon meme, and the other one that's I think it's like $80 or whatever it is. But I wanted something that offered me a full metric setup. If you want to see that video, I'll put the link to the video in that description. If you want to watch, my whole thing, but pretty much all metric. Same thing with the security bits. They're going to be all the impact grades from the Hercules set. Got my flex head with the quarter-inch anvil, and then the bit holder. But I also have one here that's just strictly for the bits, because it'll provide me with different profiles for fitting into tighter places, and the quarter-inch extension. So, and then up here I have the extension that I can make it into a T-handle for that other one. And then I go over in my other video as to how I set this whole thing up. But this is going to be the kit that I made. So let's put that back in here, if I can get it in there. So, but anyways, I'm not worried about that later. I'm trying to show you guys the backpack. So I'm going to close this up for now, and I'll organize everything at the end of the video. This is more just to show everyone what I got in here, in case you're curious about my setup. So, back pouch. Here, I have the hyper tough magnetic mat that I bought not too long ago. So I can set this on a customer's vehicle and put all my tools or whatever I take apart, so it's not rolling around or falls into the engine bay. Don't want to worry about any of that. So, actually, before I do anything, I should probably do this side, because I totally forgot I had this here. So, and I'm gonna bring this one over because I was actually charging it because I used it today, but I have an extra battery bank here for my phone, and when I bring my scan tool, that way I can keep it charged. I have this little magnetic light right here that is actually a dual purpose one. So it's a light, pretty bright, but you can also extend it, and the tip of it flexes, and it's magnetic. So if I drop something, I can pick it up. It's actually a pretty strong magnet. I'm not going to say that it's the strongest magnet, but again, it's good enough to help you retrieve items that you may drop, down into the engine bay or whatever. So it'll come in handy. And then here I have extra cables that I use for charging. What else I got? That's pretty much it for that pouch right there. On the outside here, I have my DeWalt flip blade, and then in here I put my work phone, because I have a work phone instead of my personal phone. Keeps everything nice and organized. Then I got these little scissors right here. I know they don't look like much, but they are scissors. And this is what I use if I gotta cut like very small basic things. I'm not gonna use this for like wire work. This is more like for cutting the shrink tube into size or whatever, maybe paper, a piece of cardboard, etc. So get this in here. There we go. Then I got my brake gauges here. This is a different set. And I got my tire depth gauge here. Check the depth of the tires. And then lighter, spark plug gap tool right here, and a pen. And one thing I will say is the Klein backpack does not have any of the webbing for you to actually attach stuff to it. So what I ended up doing was I bought this pouch on Amazon, and it has the webbing, but then I got some Velcro straps that I ran through and attached to the actual handle of the bag. And this is like my quick access bag, just for all these little things that I got laid out right here. So I'm gonna clean all this up at the end of the video. This is more just to show you guys. So now, main pouch again. Completely forgot about that. Here I have my 32-piece Milwaukee set, and this one is going to be the set that has metrics, and it's going to come in both standard and shallow and deep sockets, swivel adapter as well. Then I have my 3/8 ratchet here, and then 2 extensions as well. I bought this on sale. I think I paid $89 for it through Ace Hardware. So great deal that I got lucky with when I found it. And then up here, I just have some basic spark plug sockets for like the most common sizes if I need to remove them. So at least I have that available as well. So, and then I just put this towards the very back, and it adds like another extra spine for support, especially when I put the backpack on. It keeps it super balanced and even on my back. But this is my little setup that I have. And again, it's the 28 pocket one. Sorry that it's a mess right now, but I didn't want, oh, car driving by. I didn't want anything that had a whole bunch of pockets because then it would have just been too much work, trying to figure out how to lay it out, and maybe some of the pockets would be different size. So 28 pockets work perfect for me, and you can get a lot done with this. Like a lot of the electrical diagnostics. Keep in mind that I also have another little bag that I carry, actually, this rigid one here, and I usually carry my impact gun there as well as my scan tool, because obviously there's certain things that I'm not going to carry consistently, and depending on what the customer's concern is, I may not even need to bring that. I do always bring my scan tool. I don't always bring my impact gun because sometimes it has nothing to do with me utilizing that component, and I do only have the 3/8 set here. But again, if you're trying to look at this from a repair perspective, that's not what this bag is designed for. This is strictly diagnostics and light repairs. Kind of get me in, figure out what's going on. And, I keep my diagnostics to an hour. It's hard to say no to customers sometimes, but remember, time is money. If it needs a bigger tear down, you got to communicate that with the customer to be like, hey, this is going to take more than an hour, just to let you know I'm going to have to charge more because this is not something that's going to be easy. And it's unfortunate sometimes it comes down to that, but some diagnostics do involve tearing things down, and you have to charge accordingly to your time. You still got to keep your prices fair and affordable for people, but you also got to take care of yourself. Don't cut yourself short. Don't make your work seem like it doesn't have worth to it. Definitely take care of yourself. At the end of the day, this is what's going to make you money. And if you're honest up front and you communicate properly with customers, they're always going to come back. I've had some customers that they will not go anywhere. They will come to me, and because I'm honest and upfront with them, they're always going to believe what I tell them, and I'm going to take care of them as much as they take care of me. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for my little setup right here. And actually, real quick, that's my old duffel bag. Wanted to see it, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any questions, again, make sure you leave them down in the comment. I'll put as many links as I can in the description from the tools that I got. I'll try to figure out how to attach that PDF file through a Google Drive or maybe Dropbox, whatever it needs to happen. If I can't do it, sorry, but I'll do my best. And, aside from that, I hope you guys had a great 4th of July weekend. You stayed safe out there, enjoyed some time with family, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.